Brad Stafford here with MarketClub.com and your second part in a three-part video lesson series, Developing a Premium Portfolio. Today we're going to discuss confidence in symbols. Last week we discussed the diversity that is needed to develop a premium portfolio, but part of a premium portfolio, you're going to need confidence in the symbols that you currently have. Now there are two basic ways, and really two advanced ways, to understand and gain confidence in the symbols that you have. Part one, very simply, is knowledge. Part two, technical analysis. Let's first dive a little bit deeper into the knowledge. Basically, when I discuss knowledge, I speak of the knowledge behind the actual technical analysis. A lot of people only focus on the technical analysis, or they only focus on the news. What I'd like to do is show you that focusing on both can actually get you that next step within your portfolio. First, when it comes to knowledge, you want to do your research into, if you're trading a stock, for example, you want to do your research into that particular stock. You don't necessarily want to just go into it blindly and say, well, this is trading at $2. I can buy a ton of shares at $2, and man, I hope it goes up to $10. That could work. It's a great way to, throw a lot of risk out there. But if you're going to risk like that, go gamble at Las Vegas, have a couple drinks, and enjoy yourself. It's really not the place for it here when you're trading. You want to do research into that company. Whether it's a big company like Apple or a small mining company. The key is to understand what that company has to offer. Now, if you're trading the futures markets, it also has to do with particular times of the year. You can't obviously study the grain company, but you can study when grains seem to fluctuate as far as the historical data goes, and what knowledge you have as far as what the predictions are for the crop reports, for example. Now with the Forex pairs, the knowledge that you're going to need is the knowledge of what's going on in the world. For example, if you're unfortunately trading the US dollar long, you're in a bad situation because the dollar has just been getting beaten up here in the US. Partially because of the subprime mortgage mess, but other reasons behind that. And one of the biggest ways to keep yourself plugged into what's going on with your particular symbols in your portfolio is to actually use our market headline tool right here in MarketClub.com. And here I am on my home page. I'm going to click on the market headlines. And what I'm able to do, we have a streaming news feed that comes from RTT as well as Dow Jones News, which you can customize to only view the symbols or the data and the news stories really that pertains directly to your portfolio. I have a couple different lists in here. Stock, for example, I can click on stock and it brings up the most recent symbols or the most recent news stories that has stock in them. I also have Euro, where I can bring up all the latest Euro information. So this is good information to have, and you can also put in different symbols, specific matches. Now listening to the news, obviously you want to take everything with a grain of salt, and in order to help combat, so to speak, that grain of salt and to give you more confidence, you want to look at the technical analysis. So what I'm going to do is go back to our Market Club homepage, and there are a number of different ways within Market Club that you can actually gain confidence through the technical analysis. The first way is actually right here in our chart analyze scoring system. And what I want to do, I want to actually take a look at Apple again. And what this little snapshot basically gives us is some good information on momentum and some good information on trend. As you can see, you have a number of different scores here with green or potentially red triangles that give you an overall score as far as where that market is heading. This is a great piece of just quick information that says, hey, what's going on with my symbols? What is a small snapshot of what is going on in this market? Is it good for a long? Is it good for a short? Is it in a sideways pattern? What? I'm not sure. For example, Buckeye Technologies Incorporated. It's in a sidelines pattern. The it might be good for a new short-term trade, but the long-term trade may not be that great. So you want to get a little bit deeper into this, and in order to get deeper into the analysis, you're going to use a number of different tools here. And what I'm going to do is actually bring up a live chart of let's actually take a look at Apple because it's a little more familiar. And with Market Club, we have our trade triangle indicators. And with our indicators, we actually like to look at a little bit longer term trend and then filter on a shorter term trend. What I'm going to do is pull off the stochastics that I have here so we can just look at our trade triangles. And let's change the chart up to look at a bar chart. Okay, the first time period that I like to look at it is actually going to be the monthly. Now the monthly is going to give us a good snapshot of where the long-term trend is heading. In this case, since September 5th of 2006, our trade triangles have basically been long Apple. Now this is obviously a good example of how our trade triangles work. And what we would actually do is use this for our trend and a possible initial entry. And then we're going to switch over to our weekly for exit re-entry points as long as that trend is heading in the same direction. So mind you that September 5th we are continuing to basically buy in this market to go long because the trend is still going long. So what I'm going to do is switch over to our weekly, bring up our most weekly trade triangles, and just looking back a few months, August 30th at 137.24 we actually got long. And depending on where your stop loss was, that's another video lesson altogether. You could have gotten out close to the 194 range, or if you're just following our trade triangles, you would have gotten out at 165.21, which is another great trade. Now, most recently, we see that 1206, we are getting long in this market and getting long as of, 187 to basically continue with this uptrend. Now this is a good way for your longer term swing position traders to get in and out of the markets. Technical analysis not only uses the trade triangles, but a good technical analysis person uses a number of different tools. Now I'm not a fan of 15 or 20 different technical analysis. I feel like you get too many in there and it gets cluttered and you really lose your focus. What you want to do is use triangles in this case or other tools, MACD, parabolic SAR, different studies, different technical analysis tools that you are confident in. Adam Hewison, the president of INO.com, is working on a video lesson series on the different technical indicators, so stay tuned for that one. But for now, do as much research as you can. Falls back into that knowledge category. So basically, what it boils down to is two main things. First, you want to have knowledge in what you're trading, be it a stock, a future, a Forex. You want to do some research into it. You want to take a look at different market headlines and see if there's any news on that. You also want to probably read some commentary as far as what is going on in the markets, somebody else's technical analysis. And then part two is actually going to be the technical analysis, be it the chart analysis scoring system, or our trade triangles, or one of the other different technical analysis tools that you can use to basically help yourself find a good trend and hopefully a potentially profitable trade. This is Brad Stafford from MarketClub.com thanking you for spending some time. What I'd like to do is redirect you to a page where you can learn a little bit more, not only about Market Club, but about all the different tools we offer within Market Club. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you soon with part 3 in your video lesson series, Developing a Premium Portfolio. Take care.